Hi everybody, it's Yasmin here, and I'm going to be doing a little full moon ceremony. Here is my fire, and it's actually a bit cold out here tonight, so I probably won't be here that long, so hopefully people are going to tune in quite soon. And it's an eclipse. So it's a big thing. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to think of something you need to release. Something you need to release, okay? So could be a fear, could be a bad habit, could be, I don't know, something to do with lockdown, release, eating too much, drinking too much, whatever. I have to say I am officially over lockdown today. I am officially over it. I've had enough. I've loved it, and now I want to go outside, I want to see my friends, and I want to eat in restaurants. And I know as soon as I say that, I think, gosh, you know, with the week that's been going on this week in America and all the very serious issues which have been coming up, you know, here I am saying, oh, I'm over lockdown. So please forgive me for being human. Talking about what's been going on in America this week with the tragic death of George Floyd. You know, to me, it's what's happening. It's the eclipse and it's the transformation, hopefully, of the human race. We actually are in a year of transformation, which you will know if you have my diary from this year. The Moonology diary, it says on the back actually, it promises to be an extraordinary year. Now when I wrote that, I can tell you, I did not imagine it was going to be this extraordinary. I knew it was going to be big because it started off with Jupiter conjunct Pluto, and Jupiter conjoins Pluto 2 more times before the end of the year. So I knew it was going to be big, but I must say I didn't know it was going to be this big. And the other thing is, that's kind of scary actually, and I'm just going to say it because I haven't seen any astrologers saying this yet, but I'm pretty sure everyone's going to suddenly twig and start talking about it. You know, we've got Saturn, the planet of lockdown, in Aquarius, the sign of humanity. So is it that weird that we're all in lockdown? Maybe not, I don't know. Hopefully it's not going to last for 2 years, because Saturn will be in Aquarius for 2 years. Maybe we'll just have 2 years of, you know, hyper-vigilance, hopefully. So yeah, so what has been coming up in the past sort of 3 or 4 days in the States, which, you know, I was saying this morning on my daily message that I do, same place here, I was saying, you know, America, I'm not American and I don't live in America, and sometimes people say, oh, you shouldn't say anything, you're not American. It's like, yeah, you know what, in a funny way, America sometimes acts like a crucible for the rest of the world. You know, somehow, I don't know why, I don't know if it's because there's so many people there, or I don't know if it's because we've projected so much onto America because of Hollywood, you know, because of films, and films go, you know, film is an art form that goes around the world and influences us all, and television, you know, we all grow up watching, or most of us grow up watching American films and American TV, and understanding a lot about the American way of life just from what we see on television. And, you know, when something like that happens in America, it affects all of us, it really does. You know, and it's a really big, important turning point for humanity now. We've had 2 or 3 months of the COVID-19 lockdown. We've had, you know, this issue coming up, this such an important issue about racial awareness, racial inequality, racism, you know, where some people can't even bring themselves to say Black Lives Matter because they think somehow that means that they don't matter, like as if we shouldn't even have to say it. Of course we have to say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Yes, we already know that all lives matter, but Black Lives Matter, you know, like, it's a really big turning point. And I actually got really upset this morning because somebody on my morning feed kind of said something not very nice. And I got upset in front of everybody who was watching, and everybody, literally thousands of people see these things, so, you know. But I went to her page and she had all this kind of anti-black people racism stuff on her page. So, you know, like, of course there are people out there, and it is quite hard to believe when you're not one of them that people actually feel like that. But this is the time for us all to And, you know, we did actually, I sent her love. I sent her healing. She probably didn't want it from me, but I sent it anyway. So, you know, let's say that, let's have a group intention as well, that we're going to be getting rid of, you know, the hatred in the world and the racism in the world. And, you know, as they say, like, I actually felt a bit stupid because so many people wrote to me and said, oh, don't worry, Yasmin, we love you, la la la. And it's like, you know, one person said, you shouldn't let one person upset you when everyone's so lovely. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. But then one other comment someone made was, hurt people hurt. Hurt people hurt other people. And I thought, you know, these people, maybe they are hurt. Like, why would you judge someone? And I know, you know, as I said this morning, I have white privilege. I'm a white middle class woman who's had a university education. I've been very, very lucky. And I'm sure I have racism in me, but it doesn't mean that I can't become conscious of it and try my best to move beyond it and move above it, you know? Anyway, just some thoughts. So what are you going to be letting go? What are you going to be letting go? Karen's saying she's had such an emotional few days. It's just been so emotional, and the eclipse is going to take place probably in about 5 minutes from now. I actually can't see a clock right now. I think it's taking place at 12 minutes past the hour. Does somebody want to tell me what time it is? Nikki says humanity has no borders. Exactly. You know, I am all for no borders. I'd be quite happy if they'd scrapped the whole concept of borders and countries and passports. You know, I would really be very happy with that. So emotional and not a lot of sleep. Yeah, that's the other thing. There was also a big solar flare, which, you know, and that was reported in the mainstream press. Not, you know, it's not some conspiracy theory. It does seem that solar flares have a really big effect on us, and the whole thing in America happened under a solar flare. Hello from Guadalajara. Very nice. Paulina, very nice. I've been to Mexico, but not for very long enough. All right, okay, so what I'm going to do, can someone tell me the time, please? I'm going to light the fire. I'm going to hope it lights. And I'm literally just going to do my favorite chant, which is Om Namo Narayani. It's not going to be very entertaining, but hopefully it's going to help you release whatever you need to release, and then I'll do a card for the full moon. In my nice little suburban garden in London, eh? Funny. Hello from Stroud. Oh, it's 7 minutes past. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let me tell you about my masterclass that I'm holding before the full moon. I wanted to publicly announce it before the full moon while this starts up. So on June 21, I'm doing a free masterclass about the new moon eclipse, which is going to be super powerful. It's going to be, you know, just a couple of weeks from now, and we're going now. This is the moment we are going into eclipse season now with the full moon. So I'm going to do a free Eclipse Secrets Masterclass, and I've put a link. Actually, I'm sorry, on Instagram I don't have a link, but on Facebook there's a link at the top of this post, and you can register now, because we don't quite have the registration open, but you can register. All you need to register is to have pre-ordered a copy of my new diary, the 2021. This is the 2020. It's sold out, as did the 2019, so the 2021 one might sell out as well, so pre-order it ASAP. And but you can register before you buy the diary. Just register and we'll remind you, and then hopefully you'll have bought the diary by then. So that's the announcement of my masterclass. I really need this fire to fire up a bit. It's not going to be much of a fire ceremony without a fire. Let's put this here. Everything's a bit damp, I think. I'm usually the master of fires, but We threw out all the paper. Yeah. Come on, give us some fire. We'll get there. Oh no. I know there's a bit more paper in there. Maybe that'll work. Come on, fire. It's all right. I'm not going to give up yet. There's still a bit of paper in there that can burn. Come on, it's a full moon and a fire sign as well. I want the fire to be fired up. Who's the god of fire? I need the god of fire on my side. Okay, I think it's going to work. All right, I reckon it's nearly time, so let's just see how it goes. No, that's blown it out now. Might have to be just a chanting session. This is fun. Oh, I think we have liftoff. Speaking of liftoff, what about that for another thing? They went into space this week. It's been quite the week. All right, I think that's going to work now. I think it's going to work. What have you got to say? The moon just went behind a cloud. Can't see the moon here in London. Should we do a card while we're waiting for the fire? Or should we just... I reckon that's it now. I reckon that's going. Don't know who the fire god is, but he came and helped us, or the fire goddess. Who is the fire goddess? There we go. Now you're talking. All right, here we go. What time is it, somebody? I'm just going to chant Om Namo Narayani, which means I surrender to the divine. And as you do that, I want you to surrender whatever it is in your life you know you need to release. And can I just say, quite often, what we need to release is the need to control. All right? Om Namo Narayani. I hope my neighbours are going to enjoy this. Here we go. I'm actually going to chant it 9 times. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. throw it into the fire, whatever you're throwing away, whatever you're giving transmuted by the flames. Om Namo Narayani. There we go. Om Namo Narayani means I surrender to the divine. I surrender to the Divine Mother. So I just wanted to actually read you from the diary something which might be of interest to people. Just move the fire out of the way slightly. So it's from my 2020 diary, where I've written about Goddess Athena and Archangel Michael. It says, I look forward to eclipses with cautious anticipation. If you're living in alignment with your own values, there is a good chance nothing too dramatic will happen. Perhaps just an adjustment if you need one. One way to work with the eclipse energy is to ask the Goddess Athena or Archangel Michael, both of whom have mighty swords, to cut your ties with the past. Okay, there really is nothing more important to do at the time of the full moon eclipse, no matter which sign it's in. So visualize the etheric cords between you and someone else dropping away. Relax. If someone is good for you, they will come back even after this exercise. Think of it as a freshening up of the energy. So I'm just going to do that. Just going to put a tiny bit of wood on the fire. I really had to struggle to make that fire light today. So we're going to do a cord cutting ceremony because it's the full moon eclipse and we might as well honor it. What do you think? And then I'm going to do a card. Ugh. How are you all feeling? Are you all right? Thank you for all the love hearts. Okay, so close your eyes and you can call in Goddess Athena or you can call in Archangel Michael, or you can call in both. So just say it silently or out loud. I call in Goddess Athena, or I call in Archangel Michael, or I call in Archangel Michael and Goddess Athena. I call in Goddess Athena and Archangel Michael. And we ask you to use your mighty swords to cut away the cords that keep us trapped in the past, to release from us the hold that the past had on us, to use your sword to cut the etheric ties between us and everyone in our life, knowing that the healthy associations will come back to us. Please cut the cords, cut the ties with anyone you need to, anything you need to. And we are going to have to read the formula for forgiveness because it's the eclipse and it just wouldn't be right not to do the formula for forgiveness. Under the glorious full moon, I forgive everything, everyone, every experience, every memory of the past or present that needs forgiveness. I forgive positively everyone. I also forgive myself of past mistakes. The universe is love, and I am forgiven and governed by love alone. Love is now adjusting my life. Realizing this, I abide in peace. I bring love and healing to all my thoughts, beliefs, and relationships. I learn my lessons and I move on. I call on my soul fragments to be cleansed by the full moon eclipse, and I call on them to rejoin me. I send love to myself and everyone I know and everyone who knows me in all directions of time. Under this glorious full moon eclipse, I am healed. My life is healed, and so it is. And put your hands between your breasts. So be it. That's from my book Moonology for those of you who don't have it yet. Oh, I don't know if I'm crying or if I've just got lots of smoke in my eyes, or both. Something occurred to me actually just when I was speaking then, so I'm just going to say it. Even though I've already said too much today, I'll say a bit more too much. So, obviously, there's a lot of hate towards the ex-police officer who's now been charged with murder. I'm pretty sure his name's Derek Chauvin, which sounds dangerously close to chauvinist. But consider this. We should forgive him. I know that sounds outrageous, but we should, because he's actually, his soul has incarnated. It's possible that his soul is incarnated to do this terrible, terrible thing, to raise awareness. And we should forgive him. And, I mean, he's probably going to spend the rest of his life locked up. You know? I mean, if it's true, so people say, I have no proof of this, but people say we incarnate with a soul purpose, you know. There's a lot of big soul purposes going on here. I mean, obviously George Floyd has paid the ultimate price. And what a brave soul would do that. But, I mean, it started a movement around the world. It's woken people up. And the fact that it's happened now in lockdown, when everyone's got more time on their hands to think about things, talk about things. So obviously I'm not saying, that's the thing with forgiveness, it doesn't mean that what happened was okay. It just means we choose not to hate or not to carry around anger. You know? And that's why we have justice. I don't know. I don't know what you think of that. I don't even know what I think of that. But it occurred to me, so I thought I'd share it in the interest of, you know, full transparency. All right, let's do a card. I'm actually going to use a different deck tonight. Normally I use my Moonology cards, but I actually thought today I'm going to do a single card. I might do a card in my new members area. Thank you to everyone who's joined. But these are the Ascended Masters cards. I'm going to take, oh no, there's two there. What do we all need to know right now? What do we need to know about whatever it is we're letting go? Okay, there's the card. What do we need to know about what we're letting go? Are you ready? Oh my goodness. That is going to make me cry. Oh, it'll be the second time I've cried on Facebook Live today if I cry now. Look at the card we got. Choose peace. And that's Paramahansa Yogananda. Amazing, amazing book. Amazing, amazing person. Choose peace. So that's our message. I am going to cry now. I can't keep crying on Facebook Lives. That's our message, everybody. That's a message for the world. From my backyard. Choose peace. So there you go. So on that note, before I start blubbing again, and while I can still see, I'm going to send you lots of love, and I want you to reflect on the fact that we got the Choose Peace card. Lots and lots of love.